Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. Behind me, 2007 Toyota Camry. We're gonna be replacing the alternator. This is a pretty straightforward job, so shouldn't take too long. Let's get started. First thing we wanna do is disconnect the battery. 10 millimeter, we'll take the negative cable off. There we go, we'll just tuck that aside. Perfect. Let's go to the alternator. Our alternator is right here on top, which makes it awesome. We'll pull off our electrical connectors. Just a little retainer right here. Pop that just to get this loose. Get this connector here. Just a pinch and pull. Then we use a screwdriver to pull a little. There we go, just like that. We got this electrical connector. We'll pinch and pull. There we go. We have a 10 mil holding this bracket on. Just like that. And then under this boot right here, we have another 10 millimeter. Pull that up. All our electrical is out of the way. Now let's pull our serpentine belt off. We got you zoomed in. Hopefully you can see that right above the pulley is a 19 millimeter. That's for our belt tensioner. We'll turn that clockwise to release belt tension. I have a 19 millimeter on a long ratchet. I set the ratchet to on. So it's as if we're tightening that bolt. There we go. So we're gonna pull it towards us. That's gonna relieve tension, and all we want is that belt off of the alternator. We don't have to tuck the belt completely out unless you're replacing it. Just towards us. There we go. Almost got it. Perfect. Now this will just kick back and rest on the engine just like that, and we have our belt loose. There, we'll leave that. We have a 14 millimeter up above, easy to see. Crack that loose. And right underneath the alternator pulley, at the bottom of the alternator, is a 12 millimeter. You feel it with your fingers, crack that loose. Get it with the electric ratchet. All right, there it is. Get the 14 mil. That one comes out. You should be able to just wiggle the alternator back and forth and it'll slide out. There we go. Old one comes out. Just want to line up our new alternator with our old alternator and make sure they're the same. And we can slide it in. Just like that. Put our 14 millimeter in first. That's that upper one. And then we'll get our 12. Get a few threads started on the 12. Actually, I'm just gonna finger tighten it all the way. Nice, then we'll thread in our upper. As this upper one is going in, watch out for that electrical wire right behind it. That's for our crank position sensor. You just don't wanna pinch it underneath your bolt head. Finish off the bottom one. There we go. Let's get a torque spec. According to the information I have, both bolts are 38 foot-pounds. That's it. Put our belt back on. Should all still be routed. Nice. Plug in our electrical connectors. Get this nut on. Now this nut is not very tight, 87 inch-pounds. We got our wiring harness bracket, just good and snug. Plug this in. We just have one thing to transfer over, and that's this electrical harness bracket for the front. It's an 8 millimeter or a Phillips, whichever one you have. This harness in it, close it up, battery cable back on. All right, there you go. That's how you can replace an alternator on one of these Camrys. Right there up front, as easy as it gets. I'll have links in the description for all the parts and tools used. If you have any questions or comments, post down below. We'll see you on the next one.